Since leaving the Democratic Party, I no longer have an depressed mindset. I hold myself accountable for my actions. I'm closer to God. I don't judge people off their skin tone. I go off character. I'm just more happier.
Yeah, the hemorrhaging continues. People are still leaving the Democrat Party at alarming rates, and it's well deserved, right? The Democrat Party earned this one for sure. So with that being said, let's dive in.
Hey Pumpkin, do you guys remember the type of content that I posted when I first kind of came on the scene? I used to cause quite a ruckus. Y'all remember the good old days when like every single video had some lefty loosey-goosey ass extremists losing their mind in the comments section? I really didn't hate it, it wasn't that bad. But after having like 4 pages banned, I decided to chill out. Kinda. I just put the burner on low and I just been sitting over here simmering. But after watching a good man be publicly executed because of his words, because of his opinions, I felt like it was time to turn the heat back up. Charlie proved that just one voice can shake an entire system. I'm not saying he was perfect, none of us are, and I didn't agree with every single thing he said. But that man was fearless, and that is exactly why they came for him. Fragile people can't stand when people speak truth without apology. They don't want change. They want submission. Charlie never bent, and that's why he mattered. Losing that dude was an absolute gut punch. And a tragic reminder that when our voice hits a nerve, they just try to shut it down. But guess what? Now we're all Charlie Kirk. I'm going to make videos that rub people the wrong way, and if you want to let me know in the comment section, that's fine. But don't expect me to argue back with you in the comments, because if you didn't like what I said in the video, you're probably not going to like what I say in the comments either, and frankly, I have better things to do. I'm not trying to force anybody to believe what I believe. I'm just trying to attract the people who do, so, plus button. And listen, if you call yourself a friend and can't handle the fact that we disagree, just go ahead and hit the unfollow now. I'd rather that than you force feed me your opinions in my comment section that I'm never going to swallow. So whether you agree with me or not, go ahead and let me know in the comment section, because freedom of speech is something I'll always support. And it helps the algorithm.
Hey, that's facts. That is facts. Yeah, man. People are done with the nonsense. It's over with.
We just honestly might as well just wave bye-bye to the left at this point, because it's not going to be no coming back from this. Like, because we know that it was not a conservative who shot that man like that about his opinion. We know that it wasn't. Of course, we know it was a liberal. So even if this was all staged, it was staged to make the left look bad. So now nobody's going to vote for, like, oh my God, it was already bad this last election. 86% of the country voted right. Next time, baby, it's probably going to be 100%. We might as well just go ahead and inaugurate J.D. Vance at this point. Nobody's finna fucking vote for the left because y'all move off emotion and rage. Then you had the unmitigated gall to get on here and laugh about it. Like, you thought that was going to make y'all look better? You getting on here talking about some, ooh, that's what he get. Like, hold on, wait a minute. Sweetie, that just made y'all look worse. Like, what?
Yeah, I mean, after a situation like that, you would think that they would have a coming to Jesus moment, so to speak, right? But they went the completely opposite direction and just said the most vile and disgusting things. But, hey, if you want to destroy your own party, have at it.
When I walk away from the Democratic Party video that I did, a lot of Black women reached out to me in my DMs and said, hey, I want to switch over to, like, I'm done with the left. I'm done with the Democratic Party. I think 5.1 million people switched over in the last 5 days. And so I wanted to share with you the 10 positive things that's happened in my life since I left the Democratic Party. Hi, my name is Nika. Not Nike. Let's do it. Number one, and the most imperative, is that I found my way back to God. Faith is no longer an accessory in my life. It is the foundation of my life. Number two, I shed the heavy cloak of oppression, depression. My spirit feels much lighter, and I don't identify with the victim mindset anymore. Number three, I now practice radical accountability. I kind of already did it, but now I really do it. If everything is my fault, then nothing can make me powerless. If everything is in my control, nothing can make me powerless. This one might be a little controversial, considering that I have a psychology background myself. I closed the doors permanently on going to therapy. I just feel like a lot of the therapists are also equally unstable. Like, we saw a lot of them came out in the last 4 days cheering the death of Charlie, which is crazy. You're a therapist. And so I feel like they love having you in therapy because they make more money. And so now I turn to God, and I also turn to books. If I'm going through anything, there's so many wisdom in the library. I just go get a book about it and I read it. I personally would never step foot in a therapist office ever again in my life. Number 5, my mind.
I kind of feel that same way. And I'm glad that she spoke about that, because I thought I was alone, right? I'm not a believer in therapists, right, or going to therapy. Me personally, I'm just not. I don't believe that talking to another person can help me solve any problem in my life. Like, if anything, I'm going to Jesus and I'm reading the Bible. I'm not going to another human. That's just me personally. Y'all let me know in the comments if y'all feel the same way, if y'all feel differently, if therapy has genuinely helped you. If you feel open to talk about it, obviously, let me know in the comments. All right, let's jump back in.
Expanded the moment I left that echo chamber behind, because when I was liberal, I would sit in this echo chamber and I would never research anything. Whatever clip I saw that's viral, I would just believe it. Whatever my friend says happening, I just believed it. And I remember the very first time I did my research about anything was 2023, and I felt so much guilt for doing research. Like, I heard Obama said something, and I was like, yes, Trump is evil. And then I was like, maybe I should just research that. It was I had never done that before. And I Googled what he said, and it wasn't true. And I remember feeling guilty for actually researching. But now that I'm no longer in that echo chamber, my mind feels so expanded. I research everything. Everything I see online, I go straight to Google to confirm it. Life also feels calmer, and also I can save money. I can filter chaos out of my life rather quickly. I can filter my friends from the gold from the sand, because when I was liberal and I had a bunch of liberal friends, everything in their lives is always chaotic. They're always going through something. Like, every time you're talking to a liberal, they're always going through something. And also, it's nice because I don't have to pay everyone's bills anymore, and I don't have to pick up the tab for everybody anymore. But I don't want a chaotic life, and I think the liberal mindset teaches you that it's okay to have a chaotic life. Like, you should always be a victim of something. You should always be going through something, and you're a victim. Like, something, it's never your fault. Like, whatever's happening to you is never your fault. It's always a boogeyman that's hurting you somewhere. Next, discipline took over indulgence in my life. When I was a liberal, I was very indulgent. I just, if it feels good, I should do it, because it's a free world. And now I just feel very disciplined in my life. I believe in my faith, the traditions of life, and I don't indulge in bad behavior anymore, and I don't indulge in fleeting feelings, like facts over feelings. Like, even if I feel it, does not mean it's true. My respect for this country has grown exponentially. Like, I feel honored to be American. When I was liberal, I felt like it's shameful to be American. And I never understood that even when I was liberal. I'm like, why are we the only country that's supposed to hate being American? Every other country are proud to be American. I'm incredibly proud to be American. I love this country so much. She's given me everything good in this life. And I would never, ever hurt her. I would never burn her flag. I would never speak ill of her. I would never speak down on her. I think she's absolutely beautiful. And we're very blessed and very lucky to be here. A plethora of people would switch places, to be in America and to touch the American dream. So now I feel very proud, and I don't hide the fact that I feel very proud to be American. And last but not least, I feel like I reclaimed my sanity. I feel like, especially living in Los Angeles, like, if you're a liberal, you're supposed to be mentally ill. Like, you want to be mentally ill. Like, it's cool to be mentally ill and to tell people that you're mentally ill, And now truth feels solid under my feet, and I don't trade it for ideological quicksands. Like, I don't trade it for, like, whatever they're telling me that I need to feel today, and whatever mental illness I need to possess today. And so I think that's a great thing, to be able to say, like, I reject mental illness. I don't want to participate in mental illness Olympics. Leaving that woke mind virus ideology behind did not close my mind. As a matter of fact, I think it opened it exponentially. I think people think people who are conservatives are closed-minded, and it's not true. It's a complete opposite. We're very open-minded. I think that's what switched me over, is that I could ask as many questions as possible when I was still contemplating switching over. And you can do whatever you want as a Republican, as long as you don't put it in people's face. And so for all the young girls apparently that video that I did went viral on YouTube. I don't know who posted it on there, but whoever did, thank you. I gained so many followers from that video. And they are all in my DMs, young Black girls, 13, 14, 15, 16 years old, asking me, how do I switch? How do I switch? Where do I get a red hat? I'm like, you don't need to wear a red hat. Just come as you are. We accept everybody. As long as you don't put in people's face, you can do whatever you want. Welcome.
Hey, well said. Well said. We accept everyone. Contrary to popular belief, right? We accept everybody on this side of the political aisle. And a lot of people are coming to this side, and it's a beautiful thing. Even, Trump, right? It's a former Democrat. Tulsi Gabbard, former Democrat. RFK Jr., former Democrat. So some of the people at the very top of the party right now are former Democrats. So when Democrats try to label us as, mean, nasty, and terrible people or some kind of cult, right? It's absolutely BS. Absolute BS. And anybody that has taken the time to actually sit down with someone on this side of the political aisle will understand and realize that, right? We're not the folks that the left portrays us to be, 1,000%. But I got some more clips for y'all, man. I got some more clips, baby. This is a long one, so I may not play the whole thing, but here it is.
So I have officially left the Democratic Party a few days ago, and I haven't made a video about it. Really haven't told anybody besides my brother about it. And the reason I did it was because I cannot be linked and affiliated with a party that has members in it that would do exactly what happened to Charlie Kirk. Now, you could say that the shooter, the information we got from him is that he was a conservative and he came from a conservative family. True, that is true. But his family did say he's been radicalized. Regardless of his political affiliation, just like I know that I've been a Democrat for my entire adult life, and I am thinking the way that I'm thinking now, he can think the opposite as well, regardless of him being a conservative.
Well, he was raised conservative, but then went off to college and was radicalized. And so his ideas became completely different. So I think we got to make that very, very clear, right? This, and it doesn't even make sense when you really stop and think about it. If the guy was truly a conservative or truly a Republican, why would he take out arguably the number 2 guy in the Republican Party? Some might argue J.D. Vance, right? Simply because he's the vice president. I get that argument. But in terms of importance, I think Charlie Kirk was number 2. It's Trump, and then it was Charlie Kirk. I mean, genuinely think about that. Like, it was Trump and then Charlie Kirk in the party, right? Not in the world, okay? I don't want anybody confused this. It's God before all. But anyway, we're talking about party specifically. It was Trump at the top and then Charlie Kirk right under that. Why would someone on our side, allegedly, right? Allegedly our side, take out the number 2 guy? That doesn't even make sense. A guy who's talking to anybody and everybody and converting a lot of the youth to come over to our side early in their life. Why would you do that? That doesn't even make sense. It doesn't even make sense. So this whole narrative from the left, he was a Republican, is total BS. BS. But anyway, let's continue on.
But somebody who would do something like that to somebody who is just talking about free speech, conservative values, and God, obviously hates what Charlie represented. Charlie himself, the movement that he started, which is a right-wing movement. And the only other people that have called the right-wing fascists are leftists. The left, the Democratic Party, Democratic speakers, Democratic news organizations. They've called the right fascist for years now. And one of his bullet casings was labeled fascist.
The bullet casing said, "Hey, fascists, catch," for those who weren't aware.
For me, it was a huge move. I did it on 9/11/2025, and I registered Democrat when I first turned 18 in 2008. I voted for Obama. At the time, I did not like the wars in Afghanistan and Iraq, and Republicans and conservatives meant, for me, they meant war. And I did not want that as an 18-year-old. I did not want that. They were unjust, no weapons of mass destruction. They lied. I didn't want that. And so I voted for Obama. He was a very, very good speaker. And he was also just so almost regular guyish at the time, like very, very friendly. And he was the first black president. He was young. So I voted for Obama. And since then, I voted for Democrats up until last year. Every single year. I voted for Obama several times. I voted for Biden, Hillary, Bernie. I was a huge Bernie bro. I love Bernie. Actually, Bernie was the one political cause that I really focused on. I had banners, I had flyers. I really like Bernie a lot. And the first time that I voted Republican was last year with Trump. Now, prior to last year's election, I would say right before he got his mugshot. On my For You page, I got a couple of videos on my For You page on TikTok, and they were of Vivek Ramaswamy and Charlie Kirk debating college students. And this led me down that rabbit hole, these videos. I was hearing the nonsense that was coming out of the college students and the common sense that was coming out, common sense which I thought everybody had. At the time, I was not political at all because I was trying to ignore the Biden stuff. I mean, especially the pullout out of Afghanistan, I was trying to ignore it because I wasn't happy with my vote at the time. But I was like, whatever, I'm not gonna be into politics. But once I started seeing those videos, I'm like, these common sense things that I'm thinking that everybody else thinks is common sense, it may not be too common sense on these college campuses. And Vivek was so charismatic. I liked him a lot. And he was just speaking about so many values that I believed in at the time. But Charlie, he was a man of God. And as a man of God, for someone who was atheist at the time or agnostic at anything, it was interesting. He was my first deep dive into Christianity, really, because he talked a lot about Bible verses and his perspective and things like that, about stuff like that, and it was new to me. So he was like my first real pastor that I was paying attention to, that was actually focusing on the things that he was saying during these debates. And then Trump almost gets assassinated. When Trump almost gets assassinated, the first time, I remember thinking that someone stopped that from happening. I just felt it. And I turned my life over to Christ at that moment. Again, already being influenced by Charlie, and I've been going to church. My wife is Christian. She was taking me to church. I was going with them in the family for a few years. So I was starting to become not atheist, but agnostic. And at that moment, I just felt in that moment, there was also a string of other stuff in my personal life that made me feel like someone was watching my back. And so I became Christian. And then after seeing the debates between Trump and Biden, I was like, Trump's got to be the guy. There's no other way. Kamala got in there. I was like, no, there's no way. So I voted for Trump.
Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. I've got some more clips. I know this video is running a little long, but hey, that's what you're here for, right? So I guess we're going a little long today.
Was alive.
Big thank you to
Republicans, conservatives, MAGA, independents.
I'm not buying into what they're selling because after what we saw yesterday, I'm actually glad that they pulled that yesterday because people like me got to see an evilness there, got to see a diabolical side of the Democratic Party.
I just came here to announce my official divorce from the Democratic Party.
How do y'all feel about that statement? I understood what she meant. You know, like I was like, whoa. You glad that happened? Whoa, wait a minute. But then she talked about how, you know, it really exposed how evil the Democrat Party is. So I understand that, but man, yeah, I wish that didn't happen, right? Because folks like myself, I already knew how evil this Democrat Party actually was. You know, these folks are, man, some evil, demonic people. That's for sure.
The reason I am so critical of the Democratic Party right now is because I literally just left it.
I am not going to vote Democrat anymore. I did leave the left because I was getting sick and tired of their behavior.
Going forward after today and seeing how liberals and leftists and Democrats are acting towards this, I am never voting Democrat again.
I just want to say, unfriend me. Seriously, unfriend me. I don't want any Democrats or liberals following me, or I don't want to be friends with them anymore.
Since leaving the Democratic Party, I no longer have an oppressed, depressed mindset. I hold myself accountable for my actions. I'm closer to God.
I'm sorry, but I cannot be a part of a party that's doing that because that's not a party. That is a cult.
My God. I've been a Democrat all my life. All my family been a Democrat all their life. And this BS shit with Charlie Kirk and everybody acting stupid and don't care about this man's life and his family life. I'm done with you motherfuckers.
Ask myself, which political party has made my life worse? It's not the Republican Party. Locally speaking, the Democrats have complete control and they have nearly destroyed my family's livelihood.
Okay. Kind of put the nail in the coffin of me being a Democrat. I was slowly moving away from it anyway because I was.
Some of those clips I actually played for you all in a separate video, maybe a few days ago. And then obviously one of them I played at the very beginning of this video. But anyway, you guys got the message, right? There are lots of folks across the internet. And if you look in the comments section, right, of a lot of these different videos, you'll read that there are even more people who aren't really content creators who don't want to make a video and put it online, but will comment, right, that they're leaving the left. So at this point, now that the Democrat Party has fully taken its mask off, right, for the few people that were still left on the left, which is just, I'm shocked anybody is still left, right, after everything that has happened. I'm surprised that there were still people on the left that are able to leave now that they saw, first off, what happened to Charlie, but then also the aftermath and people's reaction to it on the left. I'm surprised that there were still people on the left that would leave, you know, but I'm happy that they have left, and I'm sure I can speak for us all on this side of the political aisle. We welcome you. Leave your voting habits behind, okay? We do not vote for rhinos over here. We vote for full-blooded, through and through Republicans, okay? The Donald Trump elks, the Charlie Kirk elks, right? We vote for through and through Republicans, not for the Republicans that are like, no, I'm going to agree with Democrats. Like, nah. You saw where that got you, right? That is not a party that should be in power right now, any type of power. Maybe in 20 years we can revisit things, but for right now, the Democrat Party needs to sit on the sideline and figure things out. Okay? That is 1,000% for sure. That party is demonic. It is evil. It is cruel. To laugh at a man's passing simply because you disagreed with him is just absolutely disgusting. Disgusting to take a man's life and to attempt to take Uncle Trump's life, right? People forgot about that. This nearly happened to Uncle Trump. Had he not turned his head at the right moment, this would have happened to Uncle Trump. We would have watched his head explode on national television. People have forgotten about that. The Democrat Party should not be in power. Not at all. For the next 20 to 30 years. And if they don't decide to overhaul their entire party by then keep them out of power for the next 50 to 100 years, for all I care. That party is evil. But y'all get in the comments and let me know your thoughts and your opinions. Have you had anybody in your life come to you and say that they are switching parties? Y'all let me know in the comments, all right? Stay safe out there. Peace and love. I'm out.